Alright, what's going on, guys? I'm bringing you some COD4 gameplay. It's M16 Bog Domination. I think it's 6v6. I don't think it's Ground War. I think it's 6v6. I don't know. I don't know if the gameplay's good. It's like 77 kills. People told me that was pretty good for COD4. This is my first time ever playing COD4. I never played it when it was like the actual Call of Duty that was out, because I was playing Halo back then. I wasn't a Call of Duty player, but yeah. So I don't know. Enjoy the gameplay. Let me know if you like it. May upload some more of it. I like this game. It's pretty cool. It's like a new Call of Duty came out for me because I never played it, so pretty cool. Anyways, that's pretty much all I need to say about the gameplay. Let's just leave that in the background. I need like a long gameplay. This one was pretty long, so yeah. Anyways, let's talk about regionals. So first, let me say congratulations, I guess, to Strictly Business SB. They won regionals, beating Complexity in a continuation series 6-2, and that was pretty crazy in itself. But first, I'll just start from the bottom, I guess. So I'll name the 8 teams that qualified in case you guys don't already have this information or anything like that. So Optic, TK, Rise, Envy, Complexity, SB, Xfinity, and FaZe. Those are the 8 teams that qualified from the United States to go to COD Champs in like 3 weeks. A couple names that didn't, qualify that maybe should have or had a strong potential to. Curse LV obviously for one, and Curse New York as well. I may be forgetting someone else, but those two for sure. So let's talk a little bit about kind of what went down, and kind of like how my predictions were. I think my predictions were kind of decent. They were decent. They weren't that good. They weren't very good. They weren't that bad either. I got some correctly. I had SB, going pretty far, but I didn't have them winning. I think I had them placing third. I think I had it Complexity first, TK second, SB third, and I think it actually ended up going SB first, Complexity second, TK third. So I had the top 3 right, just in the wrong order. So, I think it was a decent predictions by me. Anyways, I think it was SB, Complexity, TK, and then after that, I'm not sure what the order was. It was probably like FaZe, and then who knows after that. It was like FaZe, then probably Envy. Yeah, because FaZe beat Envy. So Envy probably got the 5th seed, and then probably after that it was like Rise, then Optic, then Xfinity, something like that, if you want to actually order the top 8. But that doesn't really matter because they're all going to champs. That's what the people really wanted to do. There was no cash prize or anything for this tournament, so people, I guess, didn't really care that much because it really wasn't that important. The main thing that people want to do was qualify. So anyways, now let's talk a little bit about the players themselves, I guess, who like really stepped up this tournament and stuff like that. I'll start with the SB. Saints carried that team. I believe Saints had... Alright, so I'm about to talk about a bunch of statistics and stuff, but I don't want to put them in the video. They're all on my Twitter. There's a bunch of pictures, because I don't exactly own these pictures, so I don't think I can profit off of them. So I can't put them in this video, but they're on my Twitter. So if you care, just go to my Twitter, go to my pictures, and you can see the stats for all of the main teams, the top 10 players, the bottom 10 players, like all those good stats. I tweet out like screenshots of all that. But anyways, Saints played really well. This is probably his best event in Ghosts, and he pretty much carried that SB team. Him and Apathy, I felt, really carried that team. Apathy's stats don't show it, but if you watched the matches, he made a lot of big plays. So definitely him and Saints and Apathy carried them. Saints had the second best KD at a 1.26, so props to him. He gets the credit there. Let's see, and then I'll talk about Complexity as well. So Complexity, this was a really weird event for them. They got put into losers bracket right away by SB. They got 3-0'd by SB in their second match, so they beat Final Boss, and they got 3-0'd by SB. And I don't know, it was pretty crazy, something that people aren't very used to. But they made it all the way pretty much through losers bracket, came back into the grand final, and then had a continuation with SB. And basically, you could say they lost to SB a second time, 3-2. Went all the way down to round 11, game 5 S&D. Well, it was actually game 8, but game 5, if you want to count it as a new series, Warhawk S&D, and they ended up losing that. So it was very close the second time they played. And basically on Complexity, I would say that Crim and Aches had their best events of Ghosts, and TP had his worst event, and Karma had his worst event, but he didn't have a bad event. He just had a below his standard event. I think he still had like a 1.06 or something KD, so it was still, above a 1. And the highest KD of the event was from Flawless. He had a 1.43, but he only played 10 matches, so I'm going to go ahead and not really count that. I'm going to give it to Saints at number 1, because he actually played a lot of matches. But anyways, then pretty much TP had a really bad event. I don't know. Well, it wasn't like awful, but he had a bunch of really bad searches where he would start out like 0-5 and stuff. So that definitely wasn't helping him out. And he had a few bad DOMs and stuff. But overall, I felt that Aches played really well, except for one map. He went 9-29 on Freight Blitz, and everyone was giving him shit about it. And I think basically after that map, he pretty much didn't have a bad map for the rest of the tournament. Pretty much went off like almost every single map. He had a bunch of 20 bombs and Dom, and he pretty much had double digits, I think, in almost every single search. So he pretty much went off after that. I think people pissed him off. And Krim by far has, I don't know, he really stepped it up this tournament. He's probably the best player on Complexity at the moment. He did better than Karma even, so we'll see how that goes into champs. But yeah, that's pretty much all I need to say about Complexity. The other team that people always want me to talk about is Optic, of course. And I got some positive things to say. So they qualified, that was good. They ended up actually losing to Envy, which I had them beating Envy, but they actually ended up losing, so that was pretty crazy. But then they ended up beating Kirsch New York to qualify, because they almost didn't qualify. So Kirsch New York, Kirsch LV, and Optic all had to play basically, and only one of them could make it, and Optic made it out of them, because Kirsch New York knocked out LV, and then Optic knocked out New York. So that was pretty crazy. Optic, like, they almost didn't make it, but they did, and I'm sure that's all they really care about. They're happy with that. And how they played, actually, so this was Scumpy's best event by far. He actually, I think he was number 5 overall in KD for the event, and that definitely got boosted a lot by his first matches that he played, that first round. I didn't get to watch it, but everyone was telling me that he dropped 40 on one of the DOMs and like 35 on Blitz, so he did good on that. But basically, Scumpy and Clayster pretty much carried the team as to be expected. Clayster kind of had the same situation as Karma. Like, he didn't have a bad event, but I would say he had a subpar event towards his standards. But, you know, he still had a 1.06 KD, so towards anyone else's standards, he still had a really good event, but he set such high standards for himself that it wasn't exactly the best he could have done, especially in Domination. I felt like Scumpy carried Optic in Domination. I'm going to just read you their KDs real quick in Dom, alright? Clayster had a .93, Nacha had a .96, Scumpy had a 1.25, and Embos had a .94. Especially against Complexity, I remember in the Dom, Scumpy was the only one doing anything, and the rest of them were getting destroyed. But pretty much, as far as it goes, like, Clayster had an average event, Scumpy had a really good event. Nadeshot, he had a pretty average event, maybe even good for his standards, I don't know. He did fine in the DOMs, I guess. He didn't do like awful. And he did pretty good in the S&Ds. He actually led the team in S&D. He had a 1.5 KD in S&D. Everyone else had about a 1. And Embo's actually had a -1, but he definitely led them in S&Ds. He actually, in the game versus Kirsch New York, you know, it was Game 5, elimination, all that. And he actually dropped a 12-4, I believe. I think it was 12-4, to basically clutch them that search and destroy win to get them to COD champs. So good job on him. The only thing I gotta say is he really struggled really badly on Blitz. He had a .75 KD in Blitz, and I know he caps the flags, but Embos had a .90 and he had more caps than him. So pretty much Nation had a really good search event and bad Blitz event, decent Dom event. Yeah, that's pretty much all I need to say about Optic. And then the other teams, no one really cares too much. You know, TK, I don't know, they did alright. I was actually expecting them to beat SB, but I mean, SB just came out of nowhere and just shocked the world, I guess. But, you know, TK placed 3rd, so that's still a solid placing for them. Complexity beat them once again. They really seem to have a problem with beating Complexity. I don't know what the problem is with that. Oh, Curse LV, this will be the last team I talk about. Curse LV, man, Killa and Parasite, I don't think they're very happy with each other right now. Killa's blaming the loss on, you know, his teammates. Parasite's blaming it on Killa. Basically, they all did pretty bad, to be honest, except for Ricky. Ricky actually did really well, and Parasite did, you know, average as far as his standards go, but Killa really did pretty bad this event. He was actually in the bottom 10 players for KD. He actually had a .76 overall. And he did okay in S&D, I would say, but Killa really struggled in Domination at this event. He had a .58 KD in Dom. That's probably, I'd have to go look at the individual players, but that's probably the lowest KD out of anyone in Domination only, though. So, I don't know, man, he just messed up in Dom. He did almost have 4 caps a game, or almost 5 caps a game. So did Ricky, but I mean. Anyways, that's pretty much all I need to say as far as the people go. You know, it kind of sucks for Curse LV. I know they're disappointed and all that, but, you know, that's just the way it worked out. But, yeah, anyways, that is it. That was my thoughts on regionals. I still think Complexity is the best team, although I think, at regionals, they weren't the best team. I just think they're not as dominant as they once were, and they are capable of losing now. And SB showed that, but I don't think that SB is like some new powerhouse that's never going to lose to anybody or anything like that. I think on any day, SB can be Complexity and Complexity can be SB. Just depends on who plays good that day. But other than that, that's pretty much it. So yeah, I'll do a COD Champs actual prediction video whenever they release the bracket and stuff. That shit's not all finalized yet, so I'm waiting on that, and I'll have a video out for the predictions for the actual COD Champs. Other than that, that's pretty much it. So be sure to leave a like rating if you enjoyed, subscribe if you are not already, follow me on Twitter, links in the description down below. If you want to see all those stats I got, they're all on Twitter. And other than that, have a good day, guys, and peace out.